Hey, what's up, Stay Tuners? It's your good friend Jimbo here, letting you know that today's podcast is presented by Podgo. Podgo is the easiest way for you to monetize your podcast, providing podcasters with a flat rate for ad space so you always know how much you get when you include an ad from Podgo. I recently joined as a member and you can too. Apply today and let them know that you heard from Stay Tuned Sports and you start earning today. That's podgo.co at podgo.co.
You heard the rest. Now here's the best. Stay Tuned Sports Podcast.
And hello there, all you Stay Tuners. Welcome back to another episode of Stay Tuned Sports. It's your good friend Jimbo here, bringing in the 4th of July weekend, soon to be, with hopefully some fireworks for you guys. Some sports talk going on here. You know, we got the Patriots being caught cheating once again. Well, the punishment being handed down. Cam Newton signing with the Patriots, which not too much of a surprise, I believe. And some good fights last week in UFC. Now, you know, we didn't really talk too much about UFC last week, I should say, but I think this week it deserves a little talk about because, like I said, some of the fights are pretty good. But before all that, head over to Twitter. Follow us there at ST Sports Podcast. Like and share our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave comments anywhere on those three, and definitely I will get back to you guys with a response of, you know, thank you, or I'll try to do my best. Whatever you guys comment with. But a little bit of baseball news. Surprise, surprise. So this whole time, with the teams and the players arguing over money, this, that, the other thing. Obviously, one of the last things, once the commissioner said, listen, we're going to do a 60-game schedule whether you want it or not. The last issue was players had to sign off on basically the protocol with the coronavirus going on, how you're going to be tested and all that other stuff. Well, dominoes are starting to fall now. There's 4 ball players that have opted out of playing in the 2020 season, and they are the Nationals' Ryan Zimmerman, Joe Ross, Arizona Diamondbacks right-hander Mike Leake, and Rockies infielder/outfielder Ian Desmond. We all kind of knew this may happen, and this is only going to make it tougher on Major League Baseball to put a good product out there. Now, granted, Zimmerman, like, these guys aren't really, you know, the Mike Trouts or Stanton or Mike Judge. Like, you know, they're not the big names that really put the butts in the seats, as they would say. But it's something. Now, going into this agreement, there is also a 60... They actually do have a COVID injury list, if you want to call it that. And right before I came on to record, I did see, I think it was Brian Cashman of the Yankees, the GM, came out and said that they are not allowed to say which players are sitting out the season because of the coronavirus and who's going to be on this list. That's up to the media and the fans to assume. Now, how these players are allowed to do this, you basically have to be deemed a high risk to get the coronavirus or have a pre-existing injury from last season that may lower your immune system. Mike Zimmerman, he was hurt a lot last year. He was one of those players, so I'd be willing to bet all 4 of these players are saying because of the coronavirus. And Mike Leake is actually giving up $5.5 million of his prorated salary to sit out this season. Now, like I said, this is where it's going to be tough for Major League Baseball to put a good product out there. I don't think you're going to see, like I said, Mike Trout or Aaron Judge or those guys saying, you know what, no, we're just going to sit out the season, pandemic, this, that, the other thing. But I think this may open the door up for some interleague ball players, with that being announced that there's not going to be a AAA season this year. Maybe some of those young guys that were just on the cusp of making it to the pros finally get their chance here. You know, some of these players not wanting to play. It's a good way for the teams to see how they could react to the major league atmosphere, even though there's gonna be no fans there. But again, and this is why I've been saying from the get-go that there shouldn't be a season, because now you got, you know, a 60-game schedule. You got players starting to question if they even want to show up and play this season. Your baseball has also got to go up against the NFL, the NBA, the hockey for TV viewership. I just think it's just a bad move by baseball to bring this back. They could have been the first ones to be back on TV, but they decided to fight and bitch and moan and everything else for weeks and weeks and weeks. And now it's catching up to them. Now, granted, it seems like some of the coronavirus, some of the states are starting to spike back up again, and maybe there won't be a football season. I think there's still going to be a football season. I don't think the fans will be there, because we did see how the NFL came to an agreement with the owners to basically cover up the first 7-8 rows of a stadium and sell advertisement spots. So that right there tells me that they're already planning on, at best, not having a full stadium, maybe half-filled stadium. Hockey's not having any players. NBA, they're another thing. They're lucky if they have a season, with it being held down in Florida, where they're starting to have some issues with the second wave of COVID. Their players may start backing out or not wanting to show up. But as far as these baseball guys, I think they're making the right move. I mean, they gotta think about their family. That's why I believe they were fighting for that 100% proration for their salary. Because if let's be honest, if COVID comes back again, could go into early next year, you know, it's a lot of salary that a lot of these players are going to lose. A lot of people are going to be out of jobs. Now, I'm just curious to see if if this is the first domino for other players to drop out. Like I said, I don't think you're going to see the main stars, but you could see some. I think you could see some like B-list stars for Major League Baseball drop out, and I think that would be a huge loss for baseball. So once again, the Patriots are being punished for cheating. Now, not sure if you guys remember, but last year they were caught cheating, filming the Bengals sideline during a Bengals-Cleveland game. And Jay Glazer was the one that broke the video on a Sunday afternoon, showing the cameras clear as day, pointed right at the Bengals sideline. And a Cleveland Browns official noticed that the camera wasn't filming the game, it was just filming the sideline, and started questioning the Patriots cameraman, worker, whatever you want to call them, and couldn't backpedal quick enough. So yesterday, Tuesday, the NFL has fined the New England Patriots $1.1 million and took away their third-round draft pick of the 2021 draft. You know, that's what it was to me. A big, small slap on the wrist. But here's the question that I want to bring up to you guys. Now, this is third time they've cheated. For all you Patriots fans that, we never really technically got caught cheated. Well, you deflated the balls. It's against the rules, even though, other players may do it. Other quarterbacks may do it, but it's against the rules. This one is clear as day. You're caught on camera when you are supposed to be filming a web series called Do Your Job, showing how a advanced scout, how his job goes about. At what point do we just keep giving these little slaps on the wrist? At what point do you finally say, you know what? Ban Robert Kraft from any team functions or having part of decision makings in team functions or even in the NFL. When they have the team owner meetings, don't allow him to come. Don't allow him to have a seat to speak up on anything. Rules changes. I mean, Jesus Christ, his team doesn't even follow by the rules. And I'm sorry, but it goes from his top all the way down to the bottom to Bill Belichick. They didn't even make a statement about this until it came out that they were caught. Now they try to say, oh, well, it was an independent camera crew that, yes, we did hire, but, it was a misunderstanding, this and that, the other thing. No. If this was your first time, maybe, I'll give you that benefit of the doubt. But this is the second or third time that you're been caught cheating, and the time that they actually do catch you on camera, on film, or on audio, you get the lightest punishment of everything. I think your last punishment, you lost a first round draft pick. Wow, you basically saved them $7 million. I just think at some point, I understand the owners, that Roger Goodell works for the owners, but at some point, NFL's got to stand up and say, listen, Patriots, Robert Kraft, GM, enough's enough. And the Bengals, out of all teams, what do you have to videotape about the Bengals, especially last year, that you're that afraid of them? Sorry, but if you're videotaping their sidelines, you're trying to steal their signs, their signals. It's the Bengals. Andy Dalton. AJ Green, he can't stay healthy. You don't have to worry about him. I mean, yeah, he's good when he's on the field, but how often is he on the field? I mean, if it was, the Baltimore Ravens from last year, Kansas City Chiefs, okay, I mean, at least they're good teams. I couldn't understand why you want to try to get a leg up on it. But the Bengals, come on. Bengals fans, please don't come at me. I'm sorry, but you guys sucked last year, and you guys know it. But, hey, you got the rookie from LSU now this year. Not too sure how he'll do this year, but I think he's going to pan out for you guys, though. I think he's going to pan out a little bit better than Andy Dalton did. And that's not a smack on Dalton. I like Dalton, but he's not a top 10, top 15 quarterback. Now, staying on the topic of the Patriots, Cam Newton has officially signed with them this past, I think it was Monday or Tuesday. I think it was yesterday, Monday. And quite frankly, I think the Patriots got a steal. Basically, veterans minimum, but incentive-laden deal where he could earn a good chunk of change. Now, he's going to be competing for a starting job with Brian Hoyer and the kid they were hoping could replace Tom Brady, which can't be that stupid. Kid's name was Stidham. Obviously, if Cam Newton can't beat out Brian Hoyer, he should just retire. Now, the big knock on Cam right now is the past couple years he's been injury prone. And that's why I think it's a good pickup by the Patriots. It's a low risk, high reward deal for him. When he's healthy and he's motivated and he's balling out, he's a top 10 quarterback. I mean, he's definitely not no Tom Brady, but I think he could play well enough to keep that offense and that team in games. I think the defense is still going to be good. I don't think the Patriots are going to be as dominant as they used to be with, Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, Randy Moss. Yes, they still have Julian Edelman, and they have the rookie from last year, so Cam Newton does have some wide receiving help around him. So I don't think he's going to do that bad. I think it's a good pickup by the Patriots. This has been a link since March, since Cam Newton was released by the Panthers. And the funny part about it is I saw someone post a meme, the quarterback carousel had the Patriots, Tom Brady's face, to the Buccaneers to Jameis Winston, to the Saints to Teddy Bridgewater, and all the way around to Cam Newton going back to the Patriots, like the circle of life type deal. But one of the reasons that Cam decided finally to sign with the Patriots was the opportunity to play with Bill Belichick and to kind of fix his image, I guess, in a way. Which I don't understand what that meant. When I saw that part of the article on ESPN, that a source said this, that he wanted to go play for Bill Belichick and re-energize his image. I don't think he has a bad image. I mean, I just think he finally ran his course in Carolina, like a lot of older quarterbacks do. But to play for a coach like Bill Belichick, I mean, I gotta give credit where credit's due, though. Minus the cheating and whether Bill Belichick knew about it or not, he's a good coach. Yes, he had one of the greatest quarterbacks ever to play a game, to play with them for how many years, but that great quarterback wasn't the only player there. He had a good surrounding cast, and now Cam Newton comes in with two good receivers, a good running back by committee, as I would like to say. I mean, they got James White coming out of the backfield as their receiving running back. Decent line. So the only thing I'm curious to see is for how many years is Tom Brady with Patriots? 12, 13, something like that? 15, something like that? Cam Newton is a totally different quarterback than Tom Brady. Very rare we saw Tom Brady take off and run for a 50-yard touchdown. Cam Newton can do that. But how is that offensive line? And I said this for a while with the Eagles when we had Michael Vick, when we had Donovan McNabb, when we have Carson Wentz. Now we see it. You start getting a quarterback that scrambles around back there. It's hard for those offensive linemen to know exactly where you're at and to make sure you don't grab the guy the wrong way and get a holding penalty. Now, the benefit of Cam Newton signing right now with the Patriots, and I think this is a good thing for both of them, is Cam's going to have a full training camp to get used to this offense, to get used to his wide receivers, his offensive line, to get used to how he scrambles around. I'm pretty sure they're going to have some scrambling drills in there. They got Josh McDaniel as their offensive coordinator, I believe, still. Very smart kid there. So he should be able to come up with some good plays, run plays for Cam Newton to play into his strengths. Now, where do I think this will put the Patriots on the season. Now, before Cam signed, Brady went to the Buccaneers. I didn't think they were going anywhere. Because let's be honest, I mean, Brian Hoyer, I think, is a good backup, and that's at best. He's not a starting quarterback. I don't think he ever really was. And then Stidham, just too young and too big of a shoes to fill to just throw him in there and say, okay, go win us 4 Super Bowls. But with the Cam signing, I mean, I still don't think they're going to go like 12-4 or 13-3, but I think they make the AFC East a little bit more competitive than it was a week ago. I think this could be... honestly, just think about now, I think this could be like a Dallas Eagles type division where there's 2 teams and everybody else. And I think it's going to be the Bills and the Patriots. Possibly one sneaking in to the playoffs on the wild card. You know, you think about the NFC East, you got the Eagles and the Cowboys past couple years going back and forth. You got a young Giants team in Daniel Jones quarterbacking it. A young team in Washington with a new head coach. So I could see the Patriots maybe going like a 9-7 this year. And possibly making the playoffs. Now here's where I'm torn is like, I brought this up a couple times. I don't like Tom Brady, I don't like the Patriots. But I don't know if I want Tom Brady to make the playoffs and the Patriots not to, and to say, hey, Bill Belichick maybe not be as good of a coach as we all thought. But on the flip side, I want the Patriots to make it and say, Tom Brady, maybe Bill Belichick made him. That is going to be the huge storyline for me for this NFL season, is who made who, because I don't think they both made each other. But again, I think it's a good pickup for the Patriots. I think they added maybe 2-3 wins because of it onto their record this upcoming season. And I'm curious to see if Cam can bounce back and become the old Superman that he used to be. So last weekend we had UFC Fight Night, Dustin Poirier versus Dan Hooker. There was like 5 fights on that main card. I got 3 here that I want to talk about. 2 of them were the other 2 were okay fights, but nothing to write home to mom about. But first off, I want to give a quick shout out to Brendan Allen and Kyle Dacus. I mean, that fight, Jesus Christ. Dacus was split wide open, and I'm glad the doctor didn't stop it, because it was a bad cut above his eye, but I don't think it was bad enough to stop it. Back and forth. I know some people saw Dacus winning it by decision. Brandon Allen ended up winning by decision. And the wife was watching with me, and I told the wife, I said, it was such a close fight that I was okay with either one winning it, because it was just so close. Not sure if they got the bonus, but definitely deserved the Fight of Night bonus. And then the co-main event, we had Mike Perry versus Mickey Gall. Now, Mickey Gall to me is not that good, I don't think. I mean, his striking did look better. I do agree with a lot of you guys out there saying that. But the story here was Mike Perry showing up to a fight without any corner people, except his girlfriend outside the ring. And at one point it was funny, I don't know if it was between the first and second round or second and third round, but he's sitting there and she comes in with the bag of ice and he's coaching her on where to put the bag of ice. Now you would think Mickey Gall, who had Mark Coleman in his corner and 2 other people coaching him, yelling out what to do and everything, you would think even an average fighter would defeat a good fighter here that doesn't have a corner person or corner team, if you want to call it that. Mike Perry destroyed him. And typical Mickey Gall, gassed out about halfway through the second period, and it definitely showed in the third period. And Mike Perry ended up winning. And kudos to him, because now he doesn't have to worry about paying any cornermen or sparring partners or anything like that. I don't like his cockiness. It's just weird. It rubs me the wrong way. But in his post-fight interviews, he finally came out and said why he basically didn't come in with any corner people, and it's a trust issue. He doesn't want to train with people that have not been in the ring. He wants to train with people that have actually physically been in the wars in there. And he actually said he wants to train with Yoel Romero, which I think would be really good. I mean, both guys love to brawl. Now, unless Yoel's fighting Adonisay. But I think that would be a good start there to train with him. He did call out Darren Till, and he said he wants to fight him eventually. He understands he's going to be undersized when he fights him, but wants to fight Darren Till. And I think that would be a hell of a fight, especially if Mike Perry trains with Romero with the boxing and some of the wrestling. That fight I definitely would see. Would love to see, I should say. Then the main event, we had Dustin Poirier versus Dan Hooker. Poirier won by decision. A lot of people saying this might be the fight of the year over Weili Zhang and JJ, and sorry, but no. It was a hell of a fight. It was a brawl. Both men, just so close. Both beat up, damaged, everything you could think of. But I'm sorry, the Weili Zhang JJ fight, after that fight was over, just gave them the fight of the year award. This one is a very close second one. But here's my question next is, what's next for Poirier? You try to make a match with him and Tony Ferguson? Or I think you could get an Irishman out of retirement. I think if the UFC dangles a little carrot in front of McGregor, say, listen, you beat Poirier in September, we'll give you the title fight against Gaethje or Khabib. And I think that would be just enough to get him out of retirement. Because, again, I'll be honest, I think Poirier deserves a title shot. Very close to it. I mean, yeah, he lost to Khabib. And he just went all out with Dan Hooker. And it was a war. And if you could defeat Conor McGregor, a big name, one, you're getting a payday. I think he would deserve it. And here's the thing: if you set it up in September when Khabib said he'd be able to fight, then they would both fighters would be on the same time. If both get hurt or whatever, they should be out, the 12 weeks or the 90 days or whatever it would be. So this way you don't have to worry about, well, Khabib's fighting in September. If Dustin Poirier and Conor are fighting, I guess it's going to throw them off a month. Put them both on the September card. Or in September. They've been, UFC's been doing 2 pay-per-views a month basically. Put them in September. I'll bet you any money that will get McGregor out of retirement. Maybe even start squashing some of this pay the fighters more money type thing that's going on that everybody's been watching now. But I think that's the fight to make right now for UFC, is Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor. No UFC fights this weekend, but we have the Fight Island the following weekend. And we will definitely be back next Thursday, so we'll be talking about it then. But I think that's going to be it for this week. We had some Cam talk. I'm curious to see what you guys think about the Cam Newton signing, if it's a good signing, bad signing, or indifferent. So maybe I'll put a poll up on Twitter. We haven't done that in a while, so keep an eye on Twitter. Head over to ST Sports Podcast. That's where I'll put the poll up. Like and share our Facebook page. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, because eventually I'm going to be having some live videos on there, whether it's just myself, me and King, me and Shoulders. Who knows? Maybe I'll get Hulk Hogan on there with us. Who knows? So, till next week, this is your good friend Jimbo, signing out.